Hello, and welcome to a joint episode of the new Summer Lyric and Lore podcast and Sacred Nine podcast. I'm here with my longtime friend, Diane Lala. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you. Glad to
So,
be here.
yes. So, Diane, you have excellent, you just had an excellent life change. Would you like to tell us about it?
Sure. I have been working the last 36 years at the University of Cincinnati in the College Conservatory of Music. I was professor of musical theater. I taught dance there, Pilates. I directed and choreographed musicals. I've worked with some of the most talented students ever. I mean, literally, it was the best job on the planet. And I really, really enjoyed that. But I think that's good. I think that's long enough. My body says that's long enough, and I'm still young, so just looking at it as starting a new chapter. So I have moved, and I'm based out of New Orleans now. I hope to work other places, but this has been home. Which I think with a lot of people who were born here when I was younger, I couldn't wait to leave. And then I left and then I couldn't wait to get back. So I'm thrilled to be back here, even though it's hotter than I don't know what.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that was the cinch. I started my career in New Orleans at McGee, and they would go off to these Ivy League schools and everything. And the first thing I know, they're back in New Orleans. There's something about it's in your blood. That's just the end of the story, and that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you're Professor Emerita.
Yes, I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. And you were talking about your students. A lot of them have gone on to be and have Broadway careers, correct?
Yes, Broadway career, Tony nominations, Tonys, people on tours, on TV. It's really thrilling, to see what they've become.
Yeah. My fun fact, my very first show to musical direct was for Diane at the True Brew Theater, downtown New Orleans, and it was Songs for a New World by Jason Robert Brown, who attended one of the performances, right?
That is true. We were the first production of it outside of the one in New York.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
Do you
amazing.
remember we were getting pages of like handwritten things because they
I
hadn't?
do. Yeah. That's really cool. Really cool. So now we are in the middle of, we just had our first dress rehearsal of Carousel. And Diane had done the show at least one time before. How many times? Two times
I've
before.
I've choreographed it twice, but I've only directed it once. Or I choreographed it, then I directed and choreographed it, and so this is my third round of Carousel.
Yeah, yeah. And when I floated the idea, because I had been wanting to do the show and then knowing all the problematic parts of the show, I was happy that you were interested in doing it again. And I there was no way that anybody, in my view, than a female director uh, could have done it. So I'm really happy you did. And we've been through lots of talks, you and me and others, about the troubling themes in the show. One of which, of course, is suicide, which we've addressed, and we have something in the bulletin. The bulletin. I'm not in church right now. In the program about that, and then of course for me the hardest to navigate issue is the domestic violence, and the fact that in so many productions it's just love, forget about all the hurt. So talk to me a little bit about the first time, or say the last time or the first time you directed the show. What were the how did you navigate it then? How did you come to it?
We discussed it. Now this was in like I want to say 2012-ish, 2013. I can't quite remember. And we watched the movie Lilium, which this musical is based on that play. And it's actually darker than Carousel. We talked through the domestic violence, um, but at that point in time, um, we sort of thought, well, this is just the best Billy can do, and this is him showing love, not being able to, getting frustrated. And we didn't, we were all made peace with what the show was. And in fact, at the end, I had Billy leave and exit into like a white light, like he had done a good thing by coming back and seeing his daughter. Um, and then we all went through COVID and lockdown, and so many things in in society changed, and so many issues were brought to the front that unfortunately had been neglected um, over so many years, right? And so now, knowing the things that we know, and we are still learning, I am not done. Um, uh, I wanted to look at this show um, the way it is, right? It is what it is. It's written the way it is. And basically, you either tell the story or you don't do it. And I think that in telling this story, because I've known some people who will cut the line towards the end where Julie says, basically, it's okay for somebody to hit you hard and it not hurt at all. And I felt like if we cut that, then somehow we were giving Billy a pass. And Billy is sort of like the anti-hero of the show, right? He has no uh, education, no money, no role models. And this is how he acts and reacts. Um, I think in doing this show, it's important to that people realize just because we're doing the show does not mean we are condoning this behavior. We are, as theater does, brings a light to certain issues and problems that we have. And so that's what I'm hoping to do. Um, I don't I don't give Billy a pass at the end. And we haven't cut any lines. We've taken great care with your help. Thank you so much. Talking to different advisors and organizations on how best to handle these scenes and issues with our cast, and also how to handle them with the audience who will be seeing the show. Some people don't remember what Carousel is actually about. People are like, oh, I just love the music. It's wonderful. And it is, but it has real serious issues, domestic violence, suicide, that could trigger people uh, in ways they hadn't expected. We talked about how, when we rehearsed, we all sort of like got in a circle and like said, we're going to do this. And if anybody feels uncomfortable, feel free to say, stop, hold, I need a second. And then we went through the blocking and everything. And then we tapped out of it so that we could leave that where it was and didn't bring it out into, we didn't have to carry that weight with us, because some of that was quite heavy to stage. And the cast was really great, and they were especially thankful to us to take the care with the subject matter. And you know I believe that they are all on board with how we are presenting it.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I feel that too. And I haven't, sometimes you can feel a certain energy forming or something maybe a little bit negative. I haven't really felt that uh, regarding this show or anything associated with it. And so
No,
I'm
I
really
think
happy.
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I think that are really clear. We've been really clear about if you have a problem, come see us. After every rehearsal, I'm like, we're done. I'm here. If you need me, let me know. Um, and so far, um, we seem to be, you know, navigating navigating the ship.
Yes. But there is an element that I left out, and I found out last night, and that is after the dress was over, there were a couple of orchestra people who didn't have any idea what the thing was about, and they were fine. But it's like, ooh, you know. So I'm going to draft a couple of little sentences for Jim, our contractor, to send to them to say, look, this is not like happy domestic violence land. This is a whole different thing, and we've taken these steps or whatever. But it didn't occur to me that they wouldn't know what the music was about or the musical was about. So I'll get on that after we hang up.
Yeah, because they're long scenes, in
Yeah,
between long musical numbers.
that's right. Um, we had a Zoom one time with a few people, and one of those people brought up uh, a point that I had never considered, and that is part of the troubling situation in this musical is that the problematic parts are veiled in this beauty of music. So you have the music almost elevates it to it almost redeems it or beatifies it somehow. And I was like, I never really thought about that because they were saying that like in an opera, when something terrible is happening to a woman or somebody else, the music sounds sinister and with all kinds of tritones or all these. But in this musical, it's just so pretty much all the time. And at the end, I'm noticing, you'll never walk alone. It's like, ah. So that was a perspective I had never considered before.
Yeah, that's true. But there in musical theater, there are a lot of times where what you're singing um, doesn't necessarily match the music. I mean, they are saying "If I loved you," not "Oh,
Yeah,
I love you."
yeah,
And what's the one from Oklahoma? People will say, "We're in love."
yeah.
Don't do this and don't do that and don't. And it's this beautiful love song
I love
sounding.
that.
You know.
Yes, right, exactly. Um, so let me think. Oh, I wanted to go back to your history with Summer Lyric Theater. Do you remember what your first show was, when it was? Do you care to share?
I I can share.
Okay.
I actually auditioned, I think, a couple times and didn't get in.
Hmm.
There were some really awesome dancers back in the day, as there are now. But especially for a female dancer, we had a lot.
Yeah, of course.
My first show was West Side Story, and Olga Melendez, who was nominated for the Tony for In the Heights, she was
Yeah.
Anita.
Okay.
And I had I think I was at the end of high school or just about to start college. I think it was in 83. And I did that, and I did a couple other shows. Um, the first show I choreographed was for Frank Monachino. I did Pajama Game with Cynthia Owen and Chris Carey in the leads. That was in the mid 90s, I think, ish. Um, and then the next show that I choreographed was Crazy for You, which I think might have had a tap dancing Leonard Raven in it.
Yes. Yes, I did. I was that. I don't know how that happened, but I had done a dinner theater back in college. And that person, her name was, I'm just going to throw it out there, Nancy Wingo Caffey. Have you run across her ever in your life? No.
Have
She
not.
she was in Hattiesburg. She was a local choreographer, and she taught me how to do time steps and this and that for various numbers. And you just kind of like took that and ran with it. But that was some hard stuff. I remember there were some quick turns while I was tap dancing that never quite got, but I guess it was uniform enough. I don't know. It was fun. It was really fun.
That that was a lot. That was a hard show to do. I mean, hard show to do anyway, but especially in our condensed time. I think we did have like 3 extra dance rehearsals than we normally would.
Yes, and that big number was. I think I was carrying a pickaxe as well, and
I'm sure you were.
with a girl. And oh, I remember one of the rehearsals. It was. I think it was slap that. Anyway, we were playing like the girls' bellies or something. Talk about back in the day, and the whoever's belly I was plucking, she got called away to Broadway. Do you remember this at all?
Oh yeah, yeah. Shannon Hammonds.
Yeah, I think that was who it was. Yes, and we were all like,
Yes, and
somebody came and told us, and
we should just clear this up. The girls are pretending to be the bass
yeah,
as
yeah.
they are being plucked like a bass.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you very much. So, what was your first show to out and out direct at Summer Lyric?
Victor Victoria.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah.
was maybe my second summer at being employed there as the conductor. That would have been 2002 or 2003.
Something like that. Maybe 2002.
Yeah. In fact, that is my first summer because it was Annie Get Your Gun, Phantom, and Victor Victoria. And that would have been my first summer as conductor. So, and then you've
Yes.
directed a show every year since, I think.
Yes, I think there was one year when I choreographed Pippin for Ed Kresley.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I've directed at least one a year, because there have been a couple summers where I've done 3, not necessarily all as director, but
Yeah. When have you ever since Ed Kresley was in New Orleans doing that? Have you seen him in New York or anything since then?
I saw him once, but it was a long time ago, so
Yeah.
I haven't seen him. Although
So for our, yeah,
somebody I know saw him.
I know somebody I'm thinking too. For the listeners, Ed Kresley was in the original cast of West Side Story on Broadway. He referred to Leonard Bernstein as Lenny because they were pals, I guess. And I don't remember how Michael Howard met him. That must have been a friend of a friend or something. And he just started inviting him down every summer for a few summers to direct something. So that was pretty cool to have that, all those inside stories from way
Yeah,
back in the day.
yeah.
Yeah, so good. Do you have I mean, this is like asking me what's my favorite song. Do you have a favorite musical? Like, all things considered, just a favorite?
My problem is my favorite is usually the one I'm working on at the moment.
Yeah,
Um, People ask me what show I want to direct. Um, and I'm dying to direct Come From Away,
yeah,
because I think it's like such a beautiful and uplifting story of how people help each other. Everybody comes, you know, tragedies are terrible, but people, human nature, we are actually good at heart, and people help each other. And
yeah.
so I really like that. Um, I like so many different shows for so many
Sure.
different
Of
reasons.
course, of course. And I keep looking pretty regularly. I'll get on the websites and look for that show, and there is always like not available, not available. I even called and talked to a person and said, "Hey, what's up with this show?" Oh, it'll be another year and a half or 2 years before it's even available. So I'm watching, Diane. So we'll see.
Thank you.
We'll see if we can get that done. Um, I like to talk about Michael Howard sometimes with people who knew him and worked with him. What are some things or thing you want to share about him, whether it be an anecdote or just about him in general?
Oh man, I owe so much to him. Um, And I think also because I'm a teacher and have been for a long time, I am able to appreciate the things that are offered to me, given to me, entrusted to me, told to me, and when he gave me so many amazing, great musicals to direct, and his faith in me really meant a lot to me. And I learned so much from working with him, even things that I didn't know I was learning, like things that come out of my mouth now. And I'm like, I sound like Michael. Um, just, diction and project your voice and just learning and seeing his quality of excellence, I think. Um, and I found him to be very funny. When I first met him, very scary, right? When I was in a
Sure.
cast of his, because he could just point out of a room of 20, you're singing in F sharp, it's natural. And that, sends sheer panic into me. But he was so supportive of me. And I don't know that I would have the career I've had without him, without him trusting me. And I mean, I've gotten to direct Man of La Mancha, I've gotten to direct South Pacific. At first, I was like, why is he giving the dance chick South Pacific? Because there's not that much dance in it. And I decided, well, I'm just going to, I know some of the music, but I try to just read the script before I listen to anything, because as a dancer, I can make anything dance, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's appropriate. And I got on the elliptical at the gym, and I usually only do it for 30 minutes because I hate cardio. And I stayed on it because the script was so riveting. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so lucky to do this. Um, so he just holds a special place in my heart. I also used to, I would come in every summer from Cincinnati. I would make sure to pack some high heeled certain shoes that I know he liked, because he had a thing about, women and women's shoes. And oh, darling, that looks so good on you.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Now you're one of the few guests that I've had that has also worked with our listeners, our founder, who is Francis or Frank Monachino. What now? I knew him. I'd met him. I had never worked with him, whether it be as an actor or anything else. Give us some impressions of your impressions of him too.
Well, when it came to the musical numbers, he would just be go, and I would just do my thing, and he seemed to like it. I think I only choreographed the one show for him, but I
Uh,
was getting a master's degree, sort of like long distance back and forth, and he was my advisor, and we would meet uh during the summer like every week or every other week. And my last name is Lala, I have Italian heritage or background, and I would go into his office, and he's like, so do you speak Italian? And I'm like, no, Frank, I'm sorry. And then 2 weeks later, so do you speak Italian? I say, no, Frank, I still don't speak Italian, I'm sorry. So I always felt like I let him down in that way.
yeah. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah.
No, he was a
Uh,
wonderful man.
yeah. No, that was my impression of him too. Yeah. Um, I think we can leave it there, Diane.
All
I think
right.
we did I not ask something that you wanted me to ask, or something you want to express that you haven't had a chance to?
No, I'm just thrilled to always get an opportunity to work at Summer Lyric. I love the fast pace, although it is, it's challenging. You have to
For
be
sure.
on it. I love, oh my gosh, y'all, we have 26 pieces,
26
26
pieces.
pieces in the orchestra, and um there's just nothing better. And I must confess that when Aaron Short, who is playing our Louise, who does the ballet.
Yeah.
You started conducting the um, the beginning of it, and she started dancing, and I could feel the movement in my body. I had a little
Mm,
like Cassie moment where I was like, "Oh, she's so beautiful," and oh, I couldn't look like that now, And the music, and I was just like, I got a little verklempt, but it's
yeah.
so beautiful. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
It really is beautiful. I hope everybody who can will come and see it. Diane, thank you for being
Me
here.
too. Thank you.